lot of people who will be watching this today probably not sure what a co-CIO does. So talk a little bit about that, and instead of talking about the role, talk about your role and how you do it.
I thought CIO, Chief Investment Officer, right? Investment, I thought our investments. So I thought our portfolio. I thought, our risk. And then I had lunch with Ken prior to the announcement, and I learned CIO relates to not just our financial assets, but our people. He said, I want you to help me hire the best people in the world to Citadel. He didn't say, I want you to help me variance optimize. He didn't say, I don't want you to help me increase the Sharp. He didn't say any of the things that I would have thought traditionally co-CIO meant. There's a big part of the job that is one would expect it to be on financial risk and the deployment of capital. But the part of my job where I spend a significant amount of my time, and significantly more than I expected to, is around how do we attract, train, retain, and evolve and progress our people.
Have you, for example, discovered a new passion for any aspects of what you do, whether it's the investment process, trading and execution, the research process, talent, portfolio construction, risk, all of these things you're responsible for?
Actually, the most important thing I discovered about myself was I rediscovered passion for my job. The rate of learning I have experienced at Citadel is totally shocking to me. Not just about finance, but as you say, about people and process. If this is the making of my everyday, is as I am trying to contribute in my job, I am learning. I love my job.
We've both had lots of those moments. You're working on a problem, you get it to a situation where you think, okay, this is a very thoughtful examination of this, to have usually Ken say, there's more here. There's more. Go back, there's more. And you go back and you think, but how can there be more? And there's always more.
I had that experience at first, and then I learned to recalibrate myself. Now what ends up happening is now I go with a much better answer. I still get, Ken coming with an additional observation or a question that leads to, great, better development and new learning. Of course, it isn't just him, at this stage. This happens to me all the time. A huge part of my everyday enjoyment at Citadel is that I learn from all of my colleagues. It is in the nature of the organization that we make each other better by the way in which we collaborate.
So Pablo, we mentioned earlier, your title is Chief Investment Officer, and one of the first things you learned about this role was it's not just the financial investments, but the investments we make in people. What are you trying to teach people, or what are you trying to get people to grasp for themselves?
The question that I pose myself is, if we pursue this, if we hire this person, what skill are we developing? What skill is the individual developing that is unique and additive that will help them in their career for the years to come? And what skills are we building as an organization that are additive to our alpha factory and to our ability to outperform through the years? And holding ourselves to a high standard on these questions is absolutely critical to the growth of our business. And it's an absolute litmus test to not engaging in activities that are dilutive to our function as a fiduciary, to our aspirations to be the best investment team in the world, to our ability to attract talent.
How do some of the things that you discussed earlier inform your views about talent?
There are the table stakes moments, and there's the integrity, for example, is a table stakes trait. High skill in their space, table stakes, right? You're a professional, you're hired for a role, you must be highly skilled at that role. These are all table stakes issues. Beyond that, a commitment to excellence and self-improvement. If you're not committed to change, you're not committed to excellence.